Okay, so this was actually discovered in 1984, and then they started excavating in 1986 and 7. And this used to be a complex, a huge villa in the middle, and then on the other side the same kind of porticos as here. And this dates from the 2nd century, and what they reconstructed is the bathhouse. And the whole complex used to be 110 by 28 meters. And you can still see quite a bit. They reconstructed the whole bathhouse, like the very hot, the warm, and the cold bath. And that's just the bathhouse, you know. Here, they even installed light. See, that's a bath tap. That used to be the cold water. And they also found the locust, you know, where they did their, urinate and their whole things. So that's what they did, and they even had like plumbing. That's the bathtub over there. This used to be a room which could be heated. You can see this chimney there. And those foundations in the courtyard used to be an even older villa from the 1st century called Villa Rustica. And the new owner just built his villa above the old foundations. So that used to be the bathhouse. The locust, cold, hot and medium temperature bathtubs. And then they had this porticos, it's called, which led to the main villa, which was there somewhere, which has not been excavated yet. Remember, this was discovered in 1984. 1986 and 7 they started to excavate the bathhouse, documented everything, and then they rebuilt it. I mean, you can still see the old structures, you know, the wall which is darker, I think that's the original foundation, and then the lighter things, that's what they built on top. But it probably used to, you know, look like that. Unfortunately, some people arrived. Otherwise, I would have been all to myself. Yeah, and that would have been the villa here somewhere. And then on the other side, they had the same kind of building. I'm not sure what they did with it, but the same kind of porticos and the same kind of building again. So we've got only a third of it uncovered. We still have the main villa, which was a lot bigger than that building, and then on the other side still another of this structure here, same kind of Portuguese symmetrical and the same kind of building structure. Then as some people arrive, they want to take pictures. Maybe it's a wedding or they just passed their exam, high school exam, whatever. So that's what it looks like. Can you see? You can see some really nice stuff. You know, it's there's some floor tiles. You've got the heating, you know, the little tiles, the poles of tiles, and that's what they used for the heating. Maybe that's the heating room, and then the hot air. They had actually heating in the floor and heating in the walls, so they were not cold at all. And on the left hand side you see the, you know, the bathroom. So they could make their business first and then relax, you know, in those 3 different temperatured rooms. Usually they went from very hot to medium to cold, and the bathtub which you see, that was the cold water. Usually they had windows, you know, decorated windows, and they usually had, you know, decorated the walls as well. They were not like this, they were plastered, they were painted, and, you know, very nicely done. And can you imagine if that whole building here is a bathtub and the bathroom basically of the master of the family, a whole building, you know, what the villa might have looked like. Hopefully they uncover the villa one day. It must be, you know, somewhere in that vineyard, in that mountain, hidden, at least the foundations. I don't know, those kids are getting ready to take pictures. Yeah, and that's Longuich and the Moselle. It's quite a structure, man. Yeah, that's the heating. Just don't know what they did with those. You know, oh, maybe that's for the air. Look at this, I mean, that's original. You know, the sewage system, the water, to get away with the water. That's original. You see that in Pompeii, you know. And they even, look at this, I mean, that's original plaster work. You know, that's the foundation, the original foundation, and then that's probably original. So they installed some light in there. Look at this. I mean, that's gorgeous. And that's reconstructed floor. Partly marble, partly granite. So that's very nice. And actually what they wrote over on one of those info plaques, they used the water which they bathed in to actually rinse when they did their business, you know. Don't know what that's. So that's where the main villa used to be, and another one of this. As I said, those foundations here date from an even earlier time, 1st century after Christ, and then they just built this. So that, they should really buy the vineyard and then start digging, really. That's just huge and amazing. Imagine they uncovered this in 1984. Well, now of course just those foundations below ground, and then they said to themselves, okay, let's reconstruct the whole thing, and I'll show you what it looked like when they. So that's actually the plan. And actually they used the part where the old villa used to be as some kind of cemetery. So you can see the whole extent of the villa, and the orange part of the brown part is what they reconstructed. So the villa was in the middle, and they had those two houses. The one was the bathhouse and bathroom. I'm not sure what the other one was, but you could see there was some kind of a little temple ahead in front of the building. That's where the columns are from on both sides, and they had those porticos. Like that, they just reconstructed a little bit, so it was even bigger. Yeah, that's great. See, that's where the other building, so there was the bathhouse, and then before that there was a little temple, and on the other side as well. Okay, that was the Roman villa of Longuich, totally free.